One angle that I don't think enough people are talking about, which I do think is going to play a role in the outcome of the election, is the fact that Kamala basically has been given the keys to the kingdom and she didn't earn it. And who is specifically looking at this from a career perspective that is going to think long and hard about how hard they really want to try to push her over the finish line, knowing that even if Trump wins, there will be a massive political realignment in this country that will transpire going into 2028. Now, that may happen even if Harris wins.
I don't think so.
Likely if that were to happen in the Democratic Party. But if Harris were to lose, you're looking at Gavin Newsom, you're looking at Gretchen Whitmer, you're looking at J.B. Pritzker, you're looking at but here's I've pointed to this. Andy Bashir, Josh Shapiro. You have all of these. And of course, last but not least, you have Buttigieg.
Bashir is the least offensive.
Yeah.
Who is?
Bashir, to me, is the least offensive of that list.
But these are all people that are looking at, from a career perspective, of we will be finished politically if Kamala gets in. Because one way or the other, she's either going to get 2 terms or the GOP is going to get 1, and we're out of the potential running to be president for at least 8, if not 12 years. Anyone who is politically minded, who did not see there was no primary. I mean, let's just be honest. The Democratic Party has rigged the primary process for the last 3 presidential elections.
For the last 3 cycles.
And it's only going to get worse because, unfortunately, as their base continues to shrink, the people who stay are even more cult-minded than the MAGA people, because you see people like Candace Owens who are considered Trump adjacent, but they are very firm on certain issues that Trump isn't. And so to me, everything is lockstep in the Democratic establishment. You saw how they conducted themselves in Chicago. Oh, joy, everything's all this and that, while the genocide's being taken place and all the other things that's happening. And so to me, I see the narcissism of the people that I just mentioned. It's going to be too great for them to look at somebody like Kamala, who didn't get a single vote before she literally gets to the front of the line, and it's going to be like, yeah, I ain't playing that shit.
Well, I just honestly, I don't see it. I really think we're having a replay of 2016, and I hope we are.
And as much as I do think that there are positives to Governor Wolf, no 2 ways about it, you're telling me that Governor Shapiro does not have an axe to grind in Pennsylvania against Harris? He's done nothing for her since she's announced. And the closer this election gets, the more I'm convinced it's probably going to come down to Pennsylvania. And if Trump wins Pennsylvania, the election's over.
Well,
Wow, that's crazy. That's a crazy situation when she could have chose him to help her in Pennsylvania.
But that would have been the only place it would have helped her. But it could have hurt her and he's horrible.
Yes.
He's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Because Walz actually did bring in a good amount of attention that was positive. And now they're trying to tear him up and find all these things and go after him. And I don't play into any of that. And someone who I respect, which is Jesse Ventura, obviously has a lot of respect for Tim Walz. And so I have to recognize that. And he did a lot of stuff I don't appreciate after what happened with George Floyd and whatever. But this is a repeat. And while I am not a Trump supporter, I think we are better off with 4 more years of him than 8 to 12 potential more years of Clintonism, which is, again, I think infinitely worse.
And the other thing that
why are you laughing, Osiris?
Peter, if I would have told you in 2024 that Jen would be more pro-Trump than I am, what would you have said? 2024 is off the chain,
I am not pro-Trump.
Well, hold on a minute.
No, you're more pro-Trump than me, though.
No, I'm just more anti-Kamala.
No, you're more Trump.
I am more anti-Kamala. That's it. Like, she discussed me because, oh my God. No,
I'm just joking.
Because she, to me, this is my issue really with Kamala, and that I have known for many years that she is a Hillary person. She is a Hillary symbiote, whatever you want to call it, like a puppet, whatever it is. And I loathe Hillary Clinton. And I would not vote for Hillary Clinton. There is no universe. And so when I look at Kamala, if you were to rip off the Kamala mask like Scooby-Doo, it would be Hillary.
Yep.
And so that is why. And I felt the same way in 16. I told the people back in 15, my friends, people I knew, I'm like, you need to get behind Bernie because you're getting him or Trump. And we've talked about this and they didn't. And I'm like, because there is no universe where Hillary is going to win. And I feel the same way about Kamala. And as we get closer and people start seeing her more and more, she's only going down.
Yep.
Only down. It's the only direction for her to go. And Trump is stagnant.
The other problem that no one is, again, talking about, which I really wish they would, is that if Trump gets in, all of a sudden, all of these Johnny-come-lately privileged liberals will care about what's happening to the Palestinians.
Yes, then they'll blame him.
They'll say, oh my God, they're doing a genocide, and it's all Trump's fault.
He facilitates the revolution from the otherwise like kind of complacent left, liberals. I hate using, because I don't even know what's what, but like, you know who I'm talking about, the brunch crowd.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, that is the level for them. It's the end all be all of that comfort. But I can't really decide at this point what is going to sink this country further, depending on who gets in there. I just think that Trump getting in again would be a massive wake up call to how broken things really are. Even though they have thrown the entire kitchen sink at him to prevent him from getting in, even though he could have played this so much differently. But again, he's a class A narcissist. This is all about vanity. He doesn't actually care. I wish more people would understand that.
He couldn't care less. But he's smart enough to know that he doesn't need to attack Kamala.
No.
He doesn't need to do. She is going to implode all on her own. He doesn't need to do anything.
A lot of it is going to ride on this debate next Tuesday. I really believe that.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. If she face plants even once, it's going to rock the entire campaign, because they're not going to be able to sweep it under the rug. They have been hardline negotiating to make sure that she is completely in her own element that has nothing to do with what would be considered normal debate, context, as far as standing up and not having notes in front of. She wants to sit down like this is a VP conversation and needs note cards.
Well,
this person's running to be the leader of the free world.
She can't go off script. Have you noticed that, by the way, Osiris?
Yeah, I think she's making mistakes. She should want to stand up. She needs to look presidential. That's one of the biggest problems that she has is, do you look at her as a commander in chief? And I think she doesn't need to be, she needs to be sitting, she needs to be standing up.
Yeah.
And
I don't even look at her as a competent litigator.
Yeah.
Oh, commander in chief is off the wall to me. Like the whole thing is just, this is ridiculous. This is a Hillary Clinton thing to get this woman in office. And the only way they were able to do it is to just completely circumvent a primary. They knew this. This was always the plan.